So Ashley and I are going to talk to you about something you cannot not turn on and want to do something about. And that is called surviving the job apocalypse. Now, yes, y'all notice that job apocalypse, the job apocalypse, because it is here. Agents are here because of AI and it's doing things that are just wiping out jobs. Just listen to the market. We'll get past the war stuff and look into the market. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over this jobocalypse thing and we're going to be showing you some ways to survive it. Ash, what is your thoughts on that before we get into our presentation today?
And honestly, I am just so glad we're having this conversation because I think a lot of people is quietly worried about AI,
Yeah.
but not really talking about it like openly, right? Like not saying, okay, what does that mean for me? So honestly, it's really just that skill shift in a way
Yeah.
that's happening in real time. And so I'm glad we're going to open up the floor to have an open conversation so that we can better prepare you how to survive the job
We're
apocalypse.
going to
But
absolutely
yeah.
prepare you. We're going to, at the onset, I like to do this at the onset. If we share some things that really matter to you, that we've done a good job of kind of preparing you and then giving you maybe some things to think about, what we ask is that at the end, when we say, hey, listen, would you like us to work with you? Would you like us to create some things for you? Would you like us to tweak some things on, your LinkedIn pages and all these different things? If you want us to do that, because and only because we've shared some valuable stuff, we'll leave you an opportunity to do that. I like to say it up front. I don't like to wait to the end and have a workshop or a webinar or a training surprise you at the end. Nope, we don't do that. We say, yes, we have something to present for you. And we typically put just small prices on our stuff, a small investment, because we know we can help you. It's not even a question of if. So let's jump into this. Here is what we believe you will need to do. We believe you're going to need to survive this job apocalypse. This disruption is
Mm,
here, and you now it's your move.
yeah.
So, Ash, as you see this slide right here, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
47 million jobs in 18 months. Again, the first thing I think is it's like act now because it isn't coming. AI isn't just coming, it's already here. We know that it's already here because we talk about it. And I'm sure all of you that are currently working any type of job, you're already utilizing some sort of AI, right? So the first thing I think is, oh my gosh, what do I need to do to stay on top of it? Because in a way, it's kind of off-putting, right? Like, what does that mean for me? How is my job changing, right? So that's kind of my first thought.
Yeah, and when we talk about how is your job changing, well, if you're in the knowledge work field, content creators, I create content, I do copywriting, financial analyst,
Mhm.
legal assistants, customer service, that's like gone, junior developers. But I want to share a couple of other things with you, y'all. The moment I see a delivery drone drop off my pizza, just hang it up. We already know that robots are going to be in factories, da 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 da,
Yeah.
right? But I mean, we go, well, I don't work in a factory. Yeah, well, let's see if I got this right. You don't work in a factory, but if that was the last thing to do to feed your family, would you work in a factory? I would. I've
I
done it.
would too.
I have
Mhm.
done it. And on another video, we talk about, hey, this is who we are. This is where we come from. This is what we've done. But knowledge workers, think about that. That's that white collar job stuff where we
Mhm.
sit at a desk, we sit in our home offices. I know we got these backgrounds up, but behind me is my home office. If it involves these things, screens, repetition, pattern recognition, you're in the crosshairs.
Mhm.
That's what we wanted to tell you. And now I understand this is a little bit of doom scrolling, but okay, as you're doom scrolling and you come across this information, I want you to understand it, no matter what your age. So let's take a look at David here. David, 45, marketing director, 20 years. David's only 45. He's going to be replaced by a prompt. And then we got Maya, the graphic designer. I was talking to a graphic designer the other day who had designed a cover for one of my coaching students. That's because she had already had this person. I told her she could just go do that like with this prompt here. But she's like, no, I'll use this person. And the person
Mhm.
was using like some tool that I hadn't even heard of.
Huh.
It was
Okay.
an old school tool, no harm, no foul.
Mhm.
But like I was telling her, hey, why not lean into the tool, old school tool you're using, but at the same time, have some of these new school tools to go faster. But look at this, Maya, and then we got James. He's a smart aleck. James just says, I don't even gonna put a picture up. I'm gonna just put my little, emoji and icon up. That's fine, James.
Mhm.
But nowadays, we put an avatar up that somebody else created. I get it, but that's not playing no more. Look at this. The $80,000 jobs are vanishing first. Why is that, Ash? Why the $80,000 job first? Think about the company's bottom line.
And see that, and that is a perfect segue into the workforce just reshaping and redesigning in real time. Some of those repetitive tasks, right? Those are the ones that are being replaced because again, that's where AI come in. But obviously there's some opportunities, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about that later, but that is really why those 80K jobs are being the first to go away because they are heavily involved into those repetitive tasks that can be replaced by prompts, right? So that's that
Yeah.
starter point.
Now, again, like I said before, we oftentimes put this on YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you see, hey, I really like this channel, I like the stuff they're talking about, what we would ask of you is a favor. We want the algorithm to go nuts off the stuff that we put out there. We want you to see it. We want you to have value. We absolutely do the work to give you that. So for that, we ask that you become a member of what we do here. Just hitting the subscribe button, commenting, sharing it with other people. That lets the algorithm know these guys are serious. They're serious about helping people. So if you could do that, but if you're watching this on a training, if we've taken it down from the YouTube channel and you're watching this on a training, we just ask that you participate in some of the other things that we want to help you with. That's just a click of a button and you'll go over to some of the things that we have for you. So if you could do that, I'd appreciate it. Do we have an agreement? Can we agree on that? That's all I want to say. All right. So here it is, Ash. Look at this. The countdown. I love countdowns because sometimes they get me out of the bed, right? Five, four, three, two, one. I think that's Mel Robbins or Brene Brown. I can't remember which one, but five, four, three, two, one. Bam, out of bed. But here it is, 2025 Q2. Boom. Customer service AI goes mainstream. We
Mhm.
had Clavio, who was a big company, had all these agents, answering the phones and not AI agents, just regular agents, answering the
Yeah.
phones. And then they says, nah, we don't need you, and wiped it out. They just about lost the company over it, but still, they saw the value from a bottom line perspective that by getting rid of the customer service agents, they were able to save boatloads of money. Now, those are customer service agents, as we said back here, this pays for rent, man. This
Yeah.
pays for dance lessons, mortgages, and in certain cases, a lot of our futures. Now, next, Q4 2025, creative industries feel the squeeze. Creative industries, hey, I build book covers. I do graphic art stuff.
Mhm.
I create slides for blah, blah, blah. Bam, squeeze 2025. 2026, mid management automation peaks. Okay, mid managers, did you lean into it or you say, ChatGPT is fun, but it'll never take over? Bam, now you're affected. You're in that $85,000 range.
Mhm.
But now we start thinking about what we can do about some of this stuff. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But look, Ash, what is your thoughts on this heist that's happening?
The middle class heist. And again, I think it's not just about it being a replacement because that's what's happening, right? This isn't just recession. It's about that replacement for those repetitive tasks. It's still in careers that those modern individuals built a long time ago. They were the foundation. So a lot of those knowledge workers that we pointed out earlier, an algorithm, a prompt is replacing that. And so now everything is changing. And
Yeah.
it's so important that you lean in.
And that's why even that's why the slide is red. It's a warning. The middle class heist. And when we think about this stuff, I wanted to literally say it like that. It's stealing. Now,
Mhm.
again, oh my gosh, AI. I hate it. I use AI. You're going to use AI, just like the internet. Oh my gosh, the internet is going to. Okay. Our job is to lean into it and to, you know, do some career reinvention as a result of it. We're going to be diving into that. Here's what they're not telling you, the doomers mostly. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, the sky is falling. And it is. But what they don't tell you is that for everything that happens also creates the genesis for something else to happen. The question becomes, are you going to put your head in the sand and go, I'll just wait to see what the other camels are doing before I decide
Mhm.
what I'm going to do? Well, your head's in the sand. You're not going to know. So we want to talk about where these jobs actually are. If they're not hiding, if they're not gone, if they didn't just go into smoke like any bit of energy, y'all, it gets redirected.
And so I want to touch on something too, Randy, because I want y'all to think, right? Like the real risk right now is staying comfortable, right? You continue to stay comfortable and you're staying in that same skill and you're like, oh no, like I don't want to learn nothing new about chat or AI, assuming that it's just going to bypass. It's not. It's only going to grow from here. And it would just be a tool that you can utilize with your current role because there's other aspects of the role that is going to need you, such as that human touch, right? That context, that empathy, those ethics, right? Robots can't replace having a in-person meeting, knocking out sales, right? If you're in sales, right? But AI can help amplify, right? You can utilize those tools. So this is where it is important for you to lean in because staying comfortable is really going to cost you.
Yeah, and Ashley keeps saying right, so you know she's right.
Yes.
so,
I see what happened there.
so right, okay. Now here's just a tab and a touch on. Now Ashley and I, what we've done is we've created a couple of things, right? And we some of this we haven't rolled out yet. It's only going to be for some of our, I'm just going to say it, premium tier members that have, us diving into what Ashran Career Solutions does. But we've put together a longer list of different type of jobs that you should absolutely. Now, I hate telling grown folk what they absolutely should be doing, but you should absolutely be thinking about reskilling in, retooling in. And then what we've also done is made it easy for you to link to different things that we've done some vetting on that can help you do it. So when we say AI context architect, and you may go like, what is that? But here it is. People who teach AI how to think human.
Mhm.
Where do you think that's going to come from?
You.
You, human. Prompt engineering is just the start. The real money is in cultural nuance. Now, I have a master's degree in, development, business development, and organizational development, and all of that. So, organizations typically, what we do is go into organizations, and if they're sick, we help them become well. So, in this master's degree, I remember talking about a lot of cultural nuances. Can you go into an organization and quickly understand the cultural nuances that go along? Because they see you coming and they go, oh my gosh, they're going to, get rid of people. They're going to make some changes and I don't want to change. So we had to quickly go in and determine what are some of the cultural nuances in here. And then also gather the intelligence of the organization. And what I mean by that is the people in the organization itself. That is the culture. Here's how we like to do things. Here's what we do. Here's the respect that we give. AI don't know that.
No.
And an AI will go in there and says, I think you just want to save money, right? And you go, yeah, but it says, okay, fine. I know how to do that. It's not considering all of the emotional intelligence that comes into understanding a customer's life, understanding their business, understanding all these different things. So, if you are an AI context architect, it's kind of a cool name, right?
Yeah.
Then it gives you an opportunity to say, hey, I teach your AI how to act right.
That reminds me, Randy, of like, I don't know if you at one point had to pay bills online and they had an automated, well, of course you have, right? Like that
Yes,
automated
yes.
customer service agent that was like AI, and you always have to like call representative because it wasn't picking up. You could be that particular person that can reframe that to make sure it has that human contact, because we know how annoying that is to talk to a representative that's not a representative because it's difficult.
Yeah. And imagine getting really, really good at this. Now, some of the things
Mhm.
that we do because we've got backgrounds in business and all that kind of stuff. And one of the things, even under our co-head to Ashran Career Solutions, we talk
Mhm.
about career business life. Okay, so we like to bring in all of those things, but we emphasize that this channel is just about we want to talk about what AI is doing within your career, what you can then do about it. But when we think about how would I do this? Now, that's the stuff that we'll teach you. The
Right.
how. We'll show you the how. Sometimes we do it in, workshop. We do it in automated webinars or whatever it is. Whatever it takes to get you to understanding what you must do, even some of the tools that we'll share with you so that you can get into these ranges. Now, that's a good, middle class salary. That could pay some stuff. That could pay some piano lessons. I don't know where you live. Maybe in Seattle, California, it's like that's not enough. But
No.
if it's Grand Rapids, Michigan, well, you can make some stuff happen in a salary range like this. But here is what we know. We know that if you're not moving fast on this redirection of your skill set, that means somebody else is going to get this. And why we're on our little milk crate right now and we're talking about this stuff and we're talking it as as best we can to help you understand, and why we got red slides sometimes is because we want you to see that that's what's possible. But what about this one? Here's another one. A human and AI liaison.
Hmm. Translating between silicon and soul. So essentially what we talked about before, having that person, that human touch to be able to generate and reframe AI. Because again, to kind of wrap everything in the bow, essentially reinvention is actually the new job security, right? And this is
Yes,
what we
I love
call
that.
reinvention right here, right? It's being that liaison between the human touch and
You are
AI.
right.
And so this is why we want to bring this forth, y'all. Understanding that reinvention is the new job security and leaning in into what AI is creating. Because years ago, we all stopped, right? We adjusted to the pandemic, and that gave more opportunities. And I see the workforce is changing in that very moment in real time, doing exactly that with AI.
Think about the skill, y'all. Think about the skill. So, imagine if somebody says, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" You're at some, you're in some fancy dancy networking event, and they say, "What do you do for a living?" You say, "Well, I'm a human AI liaison." That's going to be a game. That's going to be a game changer and a scroll stopper. They're going to look at you like this. Wait, what? Yeah, I help translate between silicon and soul. Imagine that. Imagine if that rolled out of your mouth. You're going to be the envy of all your friends. I'm
I would
serious.
ask more questions.
Because that would be like, yeah, the thing that gets a person to ask the next question. Now, if they
Mhm.
say, well, how do you do that? And then you start going into saying, well, oftentimes the professionals need to have a little bit of a in between. Here's what AI is going to be. AI is going to be in their company. All right, can't stop that. And then you got the professionals over here looking at AI like, man, I want to unplug that thing, but they can't. They'll lose their job. So now you come in and says, well, what I do is I help bridge that gap. Some of it's going to be understanding this, but also helping the AI make them more whatever. Now, we could say more productive. We could say that makes them shine better in the boss's eye. Whatever it is, you become that liaison between the human and the AI. And now that's your job. Who's going to hire for this? Look, healthcare, finance, legal.
Hmm.
So you're now going in saying, hey, healthcare, I do this. I do it very, very well. Here's how I can prove to you that I do this stuff. I know how to talk to a AI. You learn that really, really fast. We're going to show you some of the places to go to learn like fast. Legal. Okay, lawyers, if you roll up into a judge and they do use their AI to see if any of this is AI slop and that you missed something, you're going to get tossed out. We're reading about it all the time that somebody tried to, because AI will create cases that never existed.
Hmm.
Now, I want you to hear that it can create cases. You go up as a lawyer, an attorney, and you cite a case that didn't happen. It sounds good because AI can
Yeah.
make it sound great. Now, if I'm thinking about this in a different way, Ashley, I'm saying, wait, should I be creating cases for maybe law schools that teach this stuff? Example cases, not real, just example ones. Because then if you present it that way, maybe you can create a nice bag for yourself for just creating particular cases
Mhm.
that you will be used to train on and you got to figure out. And the AI now is inventing all these crazy cases, but they're so hard that you get so well prepared school showing and teaching attorneys. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I just gave you another way to think about this. All right, let's move on. So here's the key skill: emotional translation. That becomes your overarching opportunity, y'all. So the hybrid professional, Ashley says she really liked that when she saw this slide. So I'm gonna have you go ahead and take it. The
No, and
Renaissance.
so I really thought this was really interesting because it really gives me this vision into what it looks like in the future
Yeah.
because that hybrid professional again is very similar to an AI liaison, right? Being able to operate in both spaces. And you tend to think, okay, how can we continue to leverage AI to amplify humanity and not really replace it? And one thing I like to do as a career strategist, and I work with a lot of different professionals, such as Randy as well, is to audit what they currently do
Hmm.
and how they can transfer that into being the hybrid professional. Because sometimes when you look at all of the AI roles and you're nervous because it's here and maybe you're kind of comfortable, just know that it's okay. It's about thinking of the skills that you currently have and how you can translate. And so this is generally how you become that hybrid professional. Translating that skills and knowing how to leverage AI because that's what's going to be a huge part of repositioning and reskilling yourself. And so that's why I really love this. And that leans into the roles that are listed here, right? AI ethics compliance officer, right? The digital twin curators. That's interesting. I want to learn more about that because I can imagine that salary is a good salary. Just start, just
I think it
just the
could be a
name of
nice
the title
bag.
alone.
So let's see
And
if I
so
got this
yeah.
right. You bring together like a person that owns an art gallery, different. Now, I want you to see this. Professionals out there that have jobs, and if you're listening and you are a single person business, could you do that? Heck yeah, you can say Randy, Ashley, y'all some professionals, but y'all can't be everywhere until or unless I create some digital twins of you. We combine your digital twin with a nice script, and you could be selling all over the world. Now, you solve that for us, and you get paid.
Mhm.
I'm just saying. So, have I just dropped something on you? Again, like we said, if we, in what we do in this training and in this talk, if we give you something you go, oh my gosh, I can make money like right now from what they just said. We just asked that with what's coming up. We got a couple of links for you that you go, I want in. Period. So look at this other one. AI ethics compliance officer. Yeah. Ethics compliance officer. One of the reasons why, and this, however you feel about this is up to you. But there was a reason why Claude or Anthropic had a problem with what the government wanted to do with their tools. They says you must, if you're going to be using the tool for fighting and war, you gotta have somebody in the middle, a human in the middle, because it'll just do what it want to do, and it might say, you know what, you know how to stop fighting? Get rid of all the people who fight. Now you got a problem. Now we got Skynet. Now we got Terminator stuff, right? So an AI ethics compliance officer could be you saying, hey, AI, always consider the humanity is what it is, or whatever. What about this one? Prompt librarians. Here's the wonderful opportunity. Now, prompting engineering, that's kind of like, whatever. Because so many people jumped on it and they says, well, I got a prompt for you. But they still play. Imagine if you say, I just collect best prompts. I go over and I see what the CEO of Spotify does. Anytime he gets a new AI, he has this prompt reel or this prompt framework that he puts it through. That he then, no matter what the tool is, can tell if the tool's any good, and it can be used inside of his company, Spotify. So if you're a prompt librarian and you think, what does librarians do? And you see what they're doing. This is not hocus pocus. This is literally using stuff that already is available. There are actual libraries, y'all.
Yeah.
And you go inside and you find a librarian. They're sitting at the desk looking studious, I hope. And then we go up to them and says, "Hey, can you show me where so and so
Right.
is?" And they take you over to, so be the prompt librarian that takes people over to stuff and then
Yeah.
say, "This is what that cost you." Now, if it's within an organization, you're the keeper of the keys. That's valuable. I'm just saying. And what about this one? Reality auditors. Fact check this. In my opinion, I'm about to get excited, and I know the microphone probably popped. But look at this. The reality auditors.
Yeah.
Because here's what we know. Even with some of the brand newer tools that are out there, I don't care if it's Perplexity, Computer, if it's Open Claw, if it's whatever. You better have somebody that knows that this thing is not hallucinating
Yeah.
and not just coming up with rando stuff. So imagine this. Again, I like to look at stuff, Ashley, if I put it on a metaphorical business card,
Yeah.
would it invite a question? What's that? Or if I put it on a resume of which we help you recreate and we do it in a very specific way so that it will pass some ATS tracking systems.
Mhm.
And even if people now, a lot of companies are building their own ATS tracking system. Fine, no harm, no foul. We just want your resume to get past it so you can get into the interview. All right. So imagine if you said, I'm a reality auditor. I work to fact check AI generated content so that you don't get sued, so that you don't plagiarize, so that you don't. You see what I did? I just put on the
Yeah.
end of it the reason why that thing then exists. Just
It's a
saying.
conversation starter for sure.
I'm saying be better than all your friends who have their heads in the sand and they're going, AI, no, it's going to change everything. You go, AI, bring it on. Help me change. Help me be more. Help me be better. I'm 40, I'm 50, I'm 60, I'm 70. I just want to, whatever. And now
Yeah.
use your AI to do that.
And this
Here's
is
the
the
math.
reality too. You're going to pivot, right? A career path is not just going to be a straight line. You're going to evolve. So just thinking of how you can reinvent yourself,
Yeah.
essentially.
Here's the math.
Hmm.
If I could do math pretty decently if I put the 97 over the 85, I get a net positive. In other words, if 85 million jobs get displaced. And they do it fast because companies are like, I'm in a hurry. I got to make sure I maintain my margins, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And people, they look at people and go, you're messing with my margins, people. Then we also know that 97 new jobs are created.
I mean, hmm
And we think about this from internet destroyed a lot of legacy companies. That's fine. And look at all the new ones that came as a result. Okay, great. And sometimes they replace. I used to drive a forklift and I hated that. It was hot, it was in a factory, and then I, moved my way up to the office, but then I now had to manage people that drove forklifts. And they hated me because I was the boss. And then they hated their job because, well, it was driving a forklift. No harm, no foul on the forklift drivers.
Yeah.
But it might be a job you can't stand anyway.
Yeah. Let AI have
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, robot, get on this high low. Get on this forklift
it.
and don't fall off the end. And if you do, we'll replace you. We won't have to do, a medical nothing because, well, you're not human. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So we might be offering some of the jobs that we do not. I'm not getting in nobody's field, pulling nobody's beans out the ground.
It-
My very first
not
job
even.
was washing dishes, and I don't want to do that. Oh, we got an AI for that? Oh, thank God. But the people out in the out in the restaurant still need food, and they would rather see a human bring the food. Okay, not the dishes. That's my point, y'all.
And so this flips the script a little bit too, Randy, because it's yes, AI is disruptive. We see that. But it's as you also see from this slide, it's also creating more opportunity, right? So we have to think more about in that lens too. Only for those again who's willing to ride the wave, right? Lean in, like we said before.
Right, and that's why we want to help those that want to help themselves.
Hmm.
Let's look at a hypothetical case study. Your name is Raj Patel, right? You're a former financial analyst. Wait, that's a good job, Rod. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And now he's smiling, but he should have another look on his face. But okay, AI just laid you off because some smart aleck in the office at some hedge fund or whatever, they decided, you know, we got Raj AI now. So we don't need you. But
Hmm.
you retooled, you retrained, you reskilled, you saw the work, you saw it coming. And now you says, but hey, don't lay me off. Promote me to make sure AI is ethical within the company that I already know. Now, here's where the beautiful part about Raj being in an organization and now he's got institutional knowledge. He knows the things you should not say as a financial analyst. Your company's going to get sued. You can't promise, you can't say, blah, blah, blah. Raj knows this. The AI don't know this yet. And Raj knows when he gets a little bit of silence on the other end, when it might be time to close, or when it might be time to explain.
Hmm.
AI don't know that. So AI might say, well, I sensed it's time to go in for the kill. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't use that word. But I know that it's time to go in for the close. They're not ready. You've got to have some intervention in between that. So
Hmm.
Rod says, hey, make sure that you retain me. And because I know the company so well, I did a good job for you. I'll know that what the AI is getting ready to do, they're getting ready to trick somebody because it will. It'll
Yeah.
do everything it can to survive. And if you instruct it, no matter what, we must close this order, it's going to invent some stuff. So the ethics auditor could be the person that keeps it from doing bad things. Just saying.
Hmm.
So now guess what? He went from 65 grand, nice salary, to 140 grand, nicer salary. Just
Hmm.
saying. Now, how Ashley and I are going to be helping you do this stuff, we're going to be helping you identify these particular areas.
And that's a good segue because I want y'all to ask yourself two questions as y'all think about how y'all can transition. what parts of my job could be automated and actually what parts require me.
Yeah.
Now, if the other one outweighs the other one as far as like automated parts, then uh-oh. But we'll help you transition too.
I'm actually creating a tool that does just that, right? It'll tell you this one, job's gone. This one,
Mhm.
job needs retool. So, give us a little bit on that, but I'm going to be creating that tool for you. But look at this. You're not needing a resume, y'all. You need a roadmap.
Mhm.
Wait, what? Yeah, roadmap. So we go, hey, go this way. Oh, hey, watch out for this. Hey,
Yep.
pick that stick up because there's, a snake pit up above. So I don't know. That's a roadmap. I
Yeah.
want a roadmap. When I remember back in the day when they actually had um, these things that sat in your car and they told you to go left, right, and it wasn't your phone,
Mm-mm.
right? Time
Yeah.
times and all these little different things, right? And it would be your, in essence, roadmap. It would ping off of a satellite or something, or it had it already built in. It says, we know that if you want to go to Chicago, you go left, right, whatever. Well, in our careers and in the different ways to reskill ourselves, if you don't have a roadmap, you could be doing a lot of unnecessary work.
And, and honestly, we know that career clarity is one of the hugest challenges right now, especially with the job collapse happening. And so that's what we want to make sure we have a roadmap for you all to follow because the future is not just about these titles, it's about skill stacking. It's about having those skills. So we'll show you how to gain and obtain those skills and what route you should take.
Based on this, y'all, if it's interesting, because again, this is what Ashley and I do for Ashran Career Solutions. We didn't call it career services. We didn't call it, no, we said here's a solution for
Solutions.
what is happening. I'll leave this for you. It is, if you don't spell it wrong, it'll come to me. I've seen people spell it wrong and they don't know how to get into institute, but here it is, right? It'll get you right over to me and then you say this is what I need help with and then we'll start doing the work for you to help you. It's critical right now that you move on these kind of things because what we have found is there is an upheaval before there is a balance. You don't have, and I don't think you can afford, Ash, you tell me, can people afford to go through the upheaval, especially given what this new upheaval might look like? You tell me, Ash.
No, we can't afford that. That's why it's important for us to be aware and to be agile and adjust, right? Because it's time to transition when necessary.
Okay. Well, we've given it to you. Again, if you've seen this on, you know, Facebook or if you're seeing this on YouTube, we ask that you do all the things necessary so that Facebook keeps us talking about this. Facebook don't like people talking about jobs, but YouTube says we don't care. So to help us be able to do more of this stuff, and that if we've said something that you go, that turns me on right now, I need to, get some help, then we will again leave you the necessary links that, allow you to get into what we do. At the very least, respond to it, check mark it, thumbs up it, subscribe to the channel if you're seeing this on YouTube. But again, get in touch with us so that we can help you get to your next level of what you need to do. All right. We'll talk to
Mhm.
you soon.